So this will be a smaller meeting than in the past because the bigger group, actually I saw the registration, there's more registration for the 9 p.m. session for our 3 continents here. And also our friends from Africa are setting up another meeting in North America. But for those of you who are from Africa or in this meeting or North America, you're very much welcome. We will be talking about the same things anyways. So we will be discussing with you the same topics. So we'll start off as usual with a prayer. So let us pray the Canticle of Creation.
Most High, all-powerful good Lord, all praise is yours, all glory, all honor, and all blessing. To you alone, Most High, do they belong. No mortal lips are worthy to pronounce your name. All praise be yours, my Lord, through all you have made. And first, my Lord, brother Sun, who brings the day, and through whom you give us light. How beautiful is he, how radiant in all his splendor. Of you, Most High, he bears the likeness. All praise be yours, my Lord, through Sister Moon and the stars. In the heavens you have made them, bright and precious and fair. All praise be yours, my Lord, through brothers Wind and Air, and fair and stormy all the weather's moods, by which you cherish all that you have made. All praise be yours, my Lord, through Sister Water, so useful, humble, precious, and pure. All praise be yours, my Lord, through Brother Fire, through whom you brighten up the night. How beautiful is he, how cheerful, full of power and strength. All praise be yours, my Lord, through our sister, Mother Earth, who sustains us and governs us and produces various fruits with colored flowers and herbs. All praise be yours, my Lord, through those who grant pardon for love of you, through those who endure sickness and trial. Happy are those who endure in peace. By you, Most High, they will be crowned. All praise be yours, my Lord, through Sister Death, from whose embrace no mortal can escape. Woe to those who die in mortal sin. Happy those she finds doing your will. The second death can do them no harm. Praise and bless my Lord, and give him thanks, and serve him with great humility.
Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, welcome once again. Welcome to this meeting. So this is how our conversation will flow today. First, we will review the course requirements and then talk about the capstone project for the season of creation. And then I have invited some animators, as mentioned earlier, who graduated in June this year to speak to us about their experience doing their capstone projects during the Laudato Si week in May. And then you can ask them questions afterwards. And then we'll have a small group discussions, and we wrap up and we do the closing prayer. So let's first talk briefly about the course requirement. The first requirement is, of course, to complete the modules on Thinkific. And for those who have difficulty on Thinkific, we have given a second option, which is to use the Google Doc. So it's easier, but what's lacking in Google Doc is the interaction with the other participants. But that is another option. So I hope that you are all doing well on Thinkific, and that you do not forget to click complete and submit after you finish each activity, because then if you click complete and submit, that records you, the system records you as completed for that particular section. And The second requirement is to practice the skill of putting together an event or activity for your community, this time in relation to the celebration of the season of creation. So it is called a capstone project because it represents a crowning achievement, or it's like a culminating activity for our training program. And through this capstone project, we will be able to practice what we learned from the course. I would first talk about the season of creation. So it is the season of creation is the time to renew our relationship with our creator and all creation. How do we do this? We do this through celebration, conversion, and commitment together. So during the season of creation, we join our sisters and brothers in the ecumenical family in prayer and action for our common home. It started in 1989 when September 1 was proclaimed as a day of prayer for creation by Ecumenical Patriarch Demetrius for the Orthodox. It was later on embraced by the other major Christian European churches in 2001 and by Pope Francis in 2015. So many Christian churches, including the Catholic Church in the Philippines, started celebrating it as a season of creation between September 1 and October 4, which is the date for Saint Francis of Assisi. And as you know, Saint Francis is widely associated with nature, and for Catholics is the patron saint of those who promote ecology. So this year, the theme of the season of creation is Jubilee for the Earth. So this year, amid the crises that have shaken our world, we're awakened to the urgent need to heal our relationships with creation and each other. So this is the time for restoration of and hope, a jubilee for our earth that requires radically new ways of living with creation. So season of creation also, as you know, is one of the key moments in Laudato Si's special anniversary year that the Vatican Dicastery for Promoting Integral Human Development has launched. So the Laudato Si year is from May 24, 2020 until May 24, 2021. In 2019, for the first time, Pope Francis promoted the season of creation. And also this year, the Dicastery for Promoting Integral Human Development issued a letter inviting the Catholics worldwide to participate in the season of creation. I'm also excited to announce that a few days ago, in Asia, our very own Cardinal Bo, the president of the Federation of Asian Bishops' Conferences, issued a pastoral letter appealing to all to have a meaningful season of creation celebration. So that is something which is also a first time for us in Asia. And we are all invited as animators to participate in the celebration of the season of creation through our capstone project. And at the same time, we will be able to practice also the skill of putting together an event or activity for your community in relation to this celebration. We have actually designated September 13 to 19 as Laudato Si Animators Week, and we would like to, if possible, because some of you are working through your organization, so you already have your schedule for your activity. But for those who do not have, who are still selecting their schedules, we would like to ask if possible for you to do your action or activity or event during the Laudato Si Animators Week, which is September 13 to 19. This week, we plan to showcase the activities of all the Laudato Si animators worldwide. And what would count as a capstone project? So it should involve a group of more than 5 people, because we have always mentioned in the previous webinars that it's best to work with a community or with a core group. And you may partner from participants from your countries or cities. So you could do it as a big group. So for example, last year, all the animators from Zambia in Africa, they grouped together and did their season of creation activity as one group. So it can be an activity that happens online, which is the safest option for many of us given the pandemic. And it should be completed by October 4, which is the last day of the season of creation, and must follow the GCCM framework and fall within these three areas of ecological conversion, footprint reduction, or raising a prophetic voice. So this list is already in the curriculum, but I just want to highlight that for some examples of ecological conversion are holding or organizing outdoor masses. For some, they have involved their parish priest and asked him to say uh, a mass for creation. And also, you can also organize a Bible study. This can be done online or in person if allowed in your context. You can organize prayer and conversation about Laudato Si, and organize Laudato Si circles. Some of the animators, for example, in where was that? They are from USA, so they formed a group also, and they became a Laudato Si circle. And footprint reduction, some of the examples would be tree planting, coastal cleanup, start a parish garden, or green your parish, encourage sustainable living. One of our animators he is from the academe, so he's a teacher in a Christian school. What he did was incorporate Laudato Si in his sustainability course that he is teaching. And then he asked the students to do a project on sustainability. And what the students did was to do a sustainability audit in their school. And they presented their recommendations to the president who met with them at their course. Others also encourage their friends to write a letter to their bank to divest their retirement fund from coal. So that was also what the others are doing. Others have written, like gathered signatures to ask their archdiocese to create a green team or creation team in their archdiocese. And raising a prophetic voice would also mean organizing or participating in a climate strike. There is one, I believe, on September 25, organized signature drive for, the fossil fuel divestment could also be here. And organize campaigns that call for restoration. And because many of us, as somebody from in the chat box said, that are still on lockdown or limited mobility, similar to what to us here in the Philippines, these are some of the actions which the animators in the past group did. So they had many of them did digital actions. So for ecological conversion, for example, they host a conference for 5 to 10 friends to talk about what they learned in the course or about Laudato Si. Or one even organized like a cooking, they have a cooking session of vegetarian food, and then afterwards they had a discussion on Laudato Si. She is from Trinidad and Tobago. And then many also organized online prayer service, organized digital campaigns on Laudato Si, and webinars. For footprint reduction, as mentioned, signature campaigns, and then raising prophetic voice, some did digital strikes. So yeah, these are just some of the examples. So for us to have a better idea of how this was done, I would like to invite Sister Zoe to share about her experience. So Sister Zoe's project involved engaging the church. So Sister Zoe.
Hello. Yes, it was. It seems quite strange, but really lovely to be here. I've missed these sort of sessions, so it's nice to come back in this new session, in this new course. In terms of my final project, it was really incredibly simple in many respects. So it feels quite difficult to talk about because it was so simple. I felt that it needed to come from who I really am. It needed to come from the core of me. I didn't want to just do a project to sort of tick a box and say that I was now a Laudate SoC animator. I actually wanted it to be something that was really meaningful to me. And as a Carmelite, and as, you know, as Christians, as Catholics, people of the church, prayer is so fundamental. So as I was thinking and praying about this final project, it felt like it was really important to start with prayer and do something on prayer. And out of that, I thought that I would have a go, basically. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but I had some contact with a bishop who is now the environmental spokesman of the Bishops' Conference of England and Wales. And I thought, perhaps if I ask him to write a letter and have a real solidarity of prayer, because I know that there's lots of people who are praying. We're all praying about environment. But I also think that St. Teresa of Avila, the Carmelite reformer, I think she had a real, she was somebody who lived integral ecology before the term was coined, because she knew that everything was interconnected and that prayer made this connection, but she also was very hot on community and friendship and the connections between human beings as human beings. So my thought was, and what I actually did, was to write to Bishop John and explain why I thought, as somebody church, some other people that I knew, why it would be important for him to actually send a letter to unite all these people who were praying and to really sort of make a community out of these people who were praying. So that's basically what I did. I found a direct email address for him. I wrote a sort of a draft, a suggested framework of something that could go to contemplative religious, to not only ask for prayer about the environment, specifically in Laudato Si week, but to raise people's awareness, because some people are more aware than others. So it was also an awareness raising situation. And that took off. He did take up my suggestion, and not only did he write to contemplatives, he wrote to all the religious in England and Wales, which I was really delighted with. And I think that it sort of sent out a few, hopefully, I mean, I know that it sent out a few ripples, a few connections are being made. And in fact, somebody who is on this course at the moment received this letter, and we didn't know each other beforehand, but I met this Colombian sister and she started to speak about this letter and how delighted she was to receive it, and how much positive momentum and energy that had generated. And of course I was delighted and she was delighted, and it was like, oh, you know, that you've done something. You know, it is about quite often a positive momentum, a positive energy, because it's very easy, I think, for people to get isolated. So that was basically my project. Cheryl, do you want to say anything else, or is there anything else
Yeah,
that I
so
should say?
there were, because we have been receiving a lot of questions about how we engage the parish or how we engage the bishops. So what I think one example of how to do it is to try and just try to write a letter, which is what Sister Zoe did. And so the effect really is that afterwards, Bishop John sent out this letter to the communities, and that's what made her project a success, because she was able to engage just by trying and just by writing a letter and also making connections. So which highlights the importance of really connecting with the others, and just trying to see to establish connections, and which is also what I'm doing with my work. Basically, yeah. So we could ask Sister Zoe some questions later, but would like to invite Sister Adina and Sister Pauline.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Pauline Macharia. My colleague is Adina Banan. The two of us are sisters from sister congregations founded by Mary Ward, Congregation Yesu, and Loreto Sisters. Now, it happened that in January, the two of us were invited by our congregations to be coordinators for our Justice and Peace International Office here in Rome. And we took up the challenge at a time of pandemic, and therefore most of our work is online. We are lucky that we have members based in 42 countries in the world. Therefore, we have a wide base. And so starting a project for us was exciting because we were going to touch people from all over the world. And we are happy, and we'll be sharing with you. I start off, and Adina will continue. Now, one aspect, a very key aspect of our JPIC ministry is listening to the challenge of Pope Francis, to hear the cry of the earth and the cry of the poor. And so consequently also bring together the efforts of our members on a platform where we learn from each other. So our training with the GCCM as Laudato Si and Matters was excellent. We are happy. Thank you, Cheryl. And thank you to GCCM for training us, for equipping us, and welcoming us to be part of this global family. What was our project? Our project, we thought we could do two things. During the Laudato Si week, we prepared a booklet for prayer and reflection and sharing among our members. And so we had themes against the chapters, the layout of the Laudato Si encyclical. So we invited the members to reflection, to discussions, to a talk and prayer around different aspects of the Laudato Si for 8 days ahead of our prayer service, which was our second thing that we did for the project. We had a joint prayer service on the 22nd of May, an online prayer service where we had a lot of our people joining us, possibly about 300. One prayer service during the day in the morning and one in the afternoon, because we had one in English, and then we had the other one in Spanish, because we use the two languages as our official languages. So, and deciding on what we wanted for a project, we are two sister congregations and working on coming together. So luckily, we have a very existing group. We have a very natural group, our religious families. So deciding on what we wanted to do wasn't very difficult. And then because of the pandemic, then it was certainly going to be an online activity and not on site, because we had to follow the protocols as laid out in most of the countries around this time. Now, we know also that during that time, some of our sisters were able to have practical activities in their communities. They shared with us, and that was very good. So we are grateful that throughout the course, we were encouraged to think of online campaigns and activities because of the COVID. And my advice to you as Laudato Si animator in training now is that you cannot train as a Laudato Si animator and remain the same. Something happens, something shifts. You cannot help but become either an environmental activist or an ambassador for Mother Earth. You just cannot but be a part of the movement, be part of the revolution. And I think it's something that makes our God very happy. And then the pandemic has taught us one thing, that in growing this Laudato Si revolution, there's nothing that can stop us. We cannot say that we are not able to do because of this or the other. There's so much we can do online. Please do not be afraid. So what steps have we taken, or did we take, to carry out our project? One, we had discussion between us. We needed to build consensus on what we were going to do. So we agreed we were going to have a prayer service, and before the prayer service, we would help the people in reflection. So we came up with the materials for both the reflection and the prayer. Then we had to come up with the booklet early enough. And because we had just come together, we had just started working together, we had to work against time to have prayer materials that would carry material from excerpts or extracts from the booklet of the encyclical according to the chapters, so that we help the people both read the book, both read the encyclical, but also pray with it. Then we came up with a prayer, which we prepared very well on the PowerPoint as a PowerPoint presentation. Then we followed the instructions given by GCCM for completing the project. We answered our questions. We went on the platform for the ThinkFic, and we are happy and very grateful for the help that we got with it. Good communication was helpful so that we could advertise our event. And then we worked a lot with our branch or regional coordinators for JPIC. Then we scheduled the prayer meetings. And happy that our Spanish group was happy to come on board and do a lot of work. Then we also involved others in the prayer. We networked with others. For example, instead of playing a song on YouTube, we invited a group of our sisters to sing the canticle of the creatures. So we are very happy that we're able to bring together so many. And then we requested some people in the group to read the prayers of the faithful. And the two of us carried out the prayer. We led in turns, so that we help the people get into it. So I think at that point, I welcome Adina, my colleague, to continue.
Okay. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you for the invitation, Cheryl, to share our experience. I must say we were really surprised because being in a congregation and having already settled in a way, the environment where we are going to do our project was, in a sense, was easier than for other people who had to figure out how to gather people, how to engage people into the Laudato Si. But since we are at the beginning in our mission in Rome, it was not as easy as we thought. First of all, because of the language challenge. So as Pauline mentioned, we shared the group in two, the Spanish speakers and the English speakers. So we had two sessions. And if I can share my screen, I made a very short presentation just to share with you, some images. This is our foundress, Mary Ward, and who was very much a fighter for the rights of the women. Here is where we are, which is all over the world in a way. And the flyer where we share the meeting ID and the password, so everybody who was interested could join. And here is what came up. Okay, here is part of the booklet. as Pauline mentioned before, we imagine that people do not really necessarily take time to read the Laudato Si document from one page to the last one. So we encourage them picking up different topics for each day. And this is how we present it as a booklet for 7 days. Each day we had a different topic. And that's about all. We had some challenges, as I mentioned before. First of all was the language. Second was people who were not really skilled in using Zoom. So for our next webinar, we took the decision to be on YouTube at the same time and on Facebook. We learned that since the group is very mixed, we have people who have a lot of experience and people who are beginners. So maybe in the future we can divide. But for the prayer, it was very well. So I think that's about all. Anyway, we were very, very happy to be able to do the Laudato Si training online with the Catholic climate movement, because both Pauline and myself were really novices in the field. We worked before going to Rome, we worked in different areas. So the training helped us a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Adina and Pauline. Thank you so much. So again, we will have opportunity to ask them some more questions later. As you can see from the previous training, many have started as like they don't know about Zoom. So they started with zero knowledge on organizing you know, digital events. And then after the course, they have become experts in that because many organized that way during their time because of the lockdown. And may I now call on our next animator, Jose Varela from Portugal. He is also helping us out as volunteer facilitator in this course at the moment. Jose?
Thank you, Cheryl. Hi all, it's great to be here with you today. I have prepared some notes to share with you in order to organize a bit my intervention and don't compromise our schedule. I'm Jose, I live in Portugal. I'm a lay person. I am married and I have 2 children. I have been helping in my parish on different services, and I'm a member of Christian Life Community, an organization of lay people following indignation spirituality. I must tell you that I came across the Laudato Si animators course completely by chance. I must confess that I started this course a bit skeptical because I had the idea that this might be something exclusively environmentalist, and I always have been dedicated as a volunteer to social causes. However, I was completely conquered by the vision and proposal of GCCM, which led me to understand a little better how everything is connected, what ecological conversion really means, and the change that Laudato Si can bring to our lives. My journey during the course, I was reflecting and praying about the role I was supposed to have in the Laudato Si week. In the beginning, I thought that it will be very difficult to turn my project in reality, whatever it will be. We were in the first months of the lockdown, contacting other persons was difficult, and it seemed hard to organize something online different than a webinar. However, as the course was proceeding, I became more and more enthusiastic and willing to join somehow the efforts to celebrate Laudato Si week. I started to think in which communities I belong to and try to identify a simple and humble way of speaking of Laudato Si to other people. My intention was to do something related to spirituality, lifestyle, and public advocacy, following the 3 dimensions of the GCCM's model. So regarding the spirituality dimension, I consider that my own ecological conversion was also part of my project, even though I didn't write much about it on my project report on the platform. But this was something that was greatly driven by the Laudato Si Animators course and the proposed reflection and praying resources. This personal conversion also made me think differently about my lifestyle, especially regarding my family's consumption patterns. This conversion is an ongoing journey that, of course, is not yet finished. Then I tried to find some gesture that could be made in the different communities to whom I belong to, using some of their current activities. That is, I realized that it could be easier to propose a special focus on Laudato Si in the context of the usual activities of these communities than trying to organize a big and extraordinary event that could be difficult to be accepted and participated by its members. So being a member of CLC, I found the ecological examen that was proposed in the course a very interesting and powerful tool to help people's ecological conversion. I thought that a Portuguese version of this examen would be a good contribution to the Laudato Si week. The examen is something that all Jesuits and lay people that follow the Ignatian spirituality used to pray every day, so this would be something that could be easily incorporated in their prayers, I thought. I contacted the Jesuits in Portugal. They turned this idea in something much better than I had imagined. They developed a podcast with this examen based on the examen created by the US and Canadian Jesuits. In the context of this context, the Jesuits asked me to write an opinion article to be published during the Laudato Si week. This was a great opportunity to talk about the importance of Laudato Si as a guidance for the post-coronavirus crisis. So the advocacy dimension was happening, although I didn't have planned at all writing this article. Finally, I included my project, joined the global prayer of May 24 with my family. The Jesuits also joined this prayer and the celebration of this very special day. As in the meantime, we got to know that it was the beginning of the Laudato Si year. So about outcomes, the project outcomes, I had the chance to write this article. It was published in the Portuguese Jesuit website. On this article, not only I argued about how Laudato Si should guide our efforts to recover from the coronavirus crisis, but also mentioned the global prayer, the beginning of the Laudato Si year, and invited people to live Laudato Si and sign the Laudato Si pledge. On the same website, it was published a podcast with the Portuguese version of the ecological exam. The article in the ecological exam, along with articles from other authors also about Laudato Si, were posted on the Portuguese Jesuits Facebook page, which has around 25,000 followers. The Jesuits also joined the global prayer of May 24 in their noon online mass broadcasted on YouTube. I can share with you on the chat box the links to the article and the podcast if you like. During the planning and implementation of my capstone project, I encountered different challenges. First, it was difficult to decide what type of initiative I should be taking during the Laudato Si week. It should be something that had an impact and really contributed to promote Laudato Si, but it also should be something different than an advocacy campaign developed by some NGO. So it should be something spiritually rooted. Another challenge was to write an article that I wanted to speak not only to Christians, but to any person that could be touched by Pope Francis' message. My goal was trying to explain to a non-Christian person the importance of the encyclical letter. It was also very challenging to realize that there seems to be a great part of the church that has not yet discovered what Laudato Si is about and how its message is deeply connected to our faith. There is a lot of conversion work to do in this area, I think. What about learnings? With the animators course and my final project, I learned a lot of things. The best thing was to really understand that I'm just a small instrument, that a simple conversation with another person can make happen things with much more impact than I have ever imagined. When this happens, it's clear that we just have to do our best and God will make things happen. I also learned that it's necessary to invest more time with people and communities that are not so familiar or are not so aware of the importance of Laudato Si. we cannot take for granted that all members of the church are touched by Laudato Si message, even though our faith is the same. Another important learning is the importance of personal conversion. It is necessary to be resilient and trust that God will act. Finally, I have also understood that there are many Catholics and Christians in the world that are working hard to promote the Laudato Si message. Even if sometimes we can feel a bit lonely in our local efforts, it is comforting to know people in so many different countries that are doing the same journey that we are. For this, I thank God the day I decided to take the Laudato Si Animators course, which I can say that was a life-changing experience. Since then, I've been involved in different activities trying to promote Pope Francis' message, and I hope I can continue on this path. I really have to thank GCCM staff, especially Cheryl, for all their inspiring work and for giving us the opportunity of feeling a small part of it. I hope that sharing this simple experience was useful for you, and please feel free to ask for any support you need. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jose, for that wonderful presentation. You know, when I spoke to Jose at first, because we had a call about his final project. After that call, he said, okay, I'm going to do a project with my family. So I was surprised when I received his report that he did a lot more. Because at first he was only thinking of doing something for the family. Yeah, so thank you so much, Jose, for sharing that. Could you please, the floor is now open for questions for me, for Sister Zoe, Adina, Pauline, and Jose. If you have any questions, you can unmute your microphone.
Hello, Cheryl. Can I speak?
Yes,
it's
please.
Christine from Malta. You had very good speakers even today. Would it be possible if we need, I find that when we meet people from different countries, we get very inspired. And in the projects that we are dreaming of, I think it would benefit if we have speakers from different parts, able to contact them through you or directly, perhaps.
You can actually, I mentioned about the platform earlier where animators can connect and contact each other. But if also you want to connect with people from your class now, please feel free to do so on Thinkific and ask for their contact information. Because like for me, I could not directly give due to privacy law. So I could not, I do not hand out email addresses. But if there is someone you wanted to contact, you could, who is in your group today, you could contact through Thinkific. But if you want to contact, for example, former animators who you know, but you don't have the contact information, you could ask through me and I could ask, I could give your contact information to that particular animator or person. So yeah, of speakers who are already in the course. Well, if you also want to contact some of the speakers, I could give your contact information to them and request to get back to you. Any other questions?
Hello.
Can I?
Hello.
Yes, I'm Arnold from Kenya.
Yes, Ambel.
There are some presentations you made about the capstone project. I'm hoping we'll be able to get those materials so that they're able to guide us as we do the project.
Yes, of course. I will upload it on the platform, Ambel.
Sure.
Yes, Trish?
Hello. I'm from a parish. I'm in Leeds in England, or just outside Leeds, and I'm from a parish that is quite used to, at one level, to me putting on the bulletin during Advent, during Lent, for Pentecost, whatever, an idea about how we can be more sustainable, more caring of the environment, and they go with that quite well. So sometimes we have a prayer and then an action that's linked to something very specific, like thinking about water and not wasting water, and praying for the people who don't have clean water, and all those kinds of things. But it feels to me at the moment, because I'm still kind of semi in lockdown, it's quite difficult to get people together. So one of the strategies we're hoping to use, I'm a member of the Justice and Peace Commission, is to have a service online, which we did for Pentecost, and we did one earlier in the year on creation. So that would be part of my project. And I suppose I'm wondering, is that kind of big enough? Because the other thing I thought I might ask to do to my parish priest, who knows I want to do something, because I do it, we've been doing the season of creation in little bits and ecumenically over the years, but it's quite hard this year because I'm not in contact with anybody, you know, much in the parish. But I thought one of the things I could ask people to do was each week, and I could put it on the bulletin, was to make some prayer flags and put on it something that they want to thank God for on one, you know, make it look pretty, and write on it with something that won't just run off in the rain, and something that they want to pray for because it isn't right, that we need to put right, and that maybe they could make over the months, they could make some bunting, we call it, the little flags joined together, and they could put it in their garden, on their hedge, or on a tree, or just put it in the park, or put it somewhere where people might just be attracted and come and look and see what it's about. But I don't know if that's a big enough kind of project for what you have in mind.
No, there's no small. I mean, everything is big enough, you know. These are really, really good ideas, I think. And I think what Jose, Sister Zoe, and Pauline and Adina shared is that we start with what we have and where we are. So if we are in a lockdown, we make, you know, we could only do as much, and that's what we do. And yeah, so actually, there were also some people who are not able to do many things. So what they did also is to put up like an announcement in the bulletin board of their parish, because they're not allowed to speak, for example, after the mass, to speak about season of creation. So what they did is ask permission to put up some kind of poster, and that is okay. I think that still makes a difference. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish. Any other questions before we break into small groups?
Cheryl, can I ask a
Yes, please.
India, is it possible to share the contact details of the other participants in India? And also maybe there are some participants who would also like to contact in their own respective countries. Can we get their contact details, such as telephone number and email IDs, so that in order to carry out the projects, we can have a collaboration?
Okay. Also, what you can do is on the platform, we had a section there where you could connect with people from the same country. It's on the first section, and what you can do is you could ask them for their contact information from there. Yeah, it's on the first section, first module of in the platform, if you're able to access it well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I saw
Miranda?
that there's at least 5 people that we need to contact to during our sessions. During the sessions before, it was only announced about 2 to 3 people. Can we just limit to three people from
Okay.
2 to 3?
Okay.
Because now it increased to 2 more. I don't think if, in my case, it's hard to look for people,
Okay.
that can
Yeah, it
work
really
because of
depends
this
on your
pandemic.
context. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, if there's no more question, or okay, one last question. If there's none, then we'll move on to. Okay, but first, but before that, I would like to thank Jose, Sister Zoe, Pauline, and Adina for sharing and your experiences and your learnings with us. And okay, so let's move on to the small group discussions. So in your small group, please select a facilitator and a note taker, and the facilitator will report back to the big group about what was discussed in the group. So the question is, what do you have in mind as a capstone project? What are the steps you plan to take? And please feel free to comment or give suggestions to your group mates. So I will try to break us out into small groups and see if I can. Let's limit the participants to 4 to 5 in a group, or 3 to 4 in a group. So I'm assigning, Sister Zoe, you're joining, right? This might take a bit, so. Okay, some of you do not have the country in their names. So I will just group you randomly.
Virginia, are you in a group?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, just a second.
Who else is there, please?
Because I could not, for some of you who do not have the country name beside before your name, then I will not be able to assign you to the participants in your countries.
Let me say it again.
Okay, 2 more minutes. 1 more minute. Thank you for your patience. Okay, welcome back to the room. I think I messed up in assigning some, so apologize for that. So how I would like to ask 3 groups to share. For the rest, you can share on the chat box because of time. So who would like to share what was discussed in their group?
I could start for our group because I have to leave in about 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Yes.
We're a group of 4, me, Trish Sandbach, Claire Myers and Sister Teresa Horrigan. And we talked about different ways forward with the project. Putting together something in a little leaflet, some prayers to let people in the parish know, to put it in the parish bulletin. Trish's had the super idea of the prayer flags to something visible as a sign that you're doing something. You put your own contact details in the parish bulletin and the contact details of the Global Catholic Climate Movement, so that people will have a contact place and a website to look up if they're looking for additional information. Sister Teresa's hoping to use the Book of Prayers that one of the sisters was talking about and use it with a prayer group and neighbours and ask them to meet up in the back garden or in sort of church grounds, asking people at the prayer meetings to actually read a verse or something about creation, read that out loud. Trish's council has apparently got a brilliant initiative that they do actually have a plastic bottle burner machine which doesn't emit a lot but gives off quite a lot of heat, which is enough to heat a small estate. So the rest of us were very impressed with that and thought we might write to our own councils to see if there's anything similar going on. Claire is going on a community litter pick on September the 8th and had to get permission from that because obviously they're hoping that it will generate a lot of waste bags that they can get rid of. And we all sort of talked about trying to get people in the parish involved, because inevitably there are those that will always get involved and those that won't, and try maybe even holding some Zoom meetings and run with a Laudato Si circle. And that's as much as I was trying to write down, so I hope I've done justice to everybody's suggestions and not missed anything out that's vital.
Thank you, Eileen. One more group.
Okay, Cheryl, this is Francis. I think we were group one.
Hi, Francis.
So we had 6 people, Virginia, Zoe, Sheila, David, and Karen. So lots of ideas. One person's meeting 2 other animators in the park on Friday to pray for that. And they're going to see what to do next, to contact their parishes through social media. Mm-hmm. Very struck by Lorna Gold's very challenging words on the webinar we saw, and the need for political action alongside the prayer and all the other actions, contacting groups like the Christian Climate Change and even Extinction Rebellion, who are having a protest next week in London. That this is all about our relationship with Christ, so it needs to be really rooted from our heart if it's to be sustainable. And there's a meeting on the 3rd of September to pray for, where 12 parishes are going to talk about their own stories and how to discover nature that they've missed so far. It should be low key. So things like going on walks with parish members, little prayer services, telling our own stories. And again, linking up with Christian Climate Action, write to the bishops, set up local groups, and go back to what Lorna Gold said. I hope that caught some of the ideas.
Yeah, thank you, Francis. Great ideas. We have room for one more. And for those who won't be able to share, kindly type in the chat box what was discussed in your group. Anybody wants to share?
Yes,
Okay.
I would like.
Okay, Sarah.
Okay. All right. We were 4 in our group. There was Josephine, myself, Marcus, and Esperanza from Peru. And it's Philippines. The Maltese team, Josephine mentioned, is part of the global citizenship, and myself and Christine are going to be helping out, but they are organizing a series of meetings, which will be starting from the 29th of September. And it's a group of 6 talks which will be spread out throughout the year, like September, October, January, and February. And Josephine is also thinking of doing something as in the 8 schools as in the education department. As regards myself, apart from helping out in that, I would like to organize something with the youths of CLC, perhaps the exam in prayer and some activities where they will take in or internalize a bit more Laudato Si, understand it more and make it more practical for them. And Marcus lives in a place where there are a lot of Buddhists, and he is going to be joining up with the Colombian sisters, and they will be growing plants around the land where there's going to be a meditation center. It's going to be quite, I think, intercultural in a way, if I understood well, as they're going to invite even the Buddhist monks and other people to join in, not just,
Yes.
and pray on the Laudato Si chaplet and grow plants and explain and also discuss how the different religions look at Laudato Si. And then Esperanza in Peru will be talking to friends in Lima and introduce activities mainly to do with reducing the footprints in how to reduce their footprint in their home and reflect about that. So I think I have hopefully.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, so for those of you who want to be organizing for youth, we have animator in the previous course who did that in Ireland, and I could connect you with her if you want. Just let me know so I can, so you can possibly share about, she's willing to share, except that she was supposed to be here today, but she had another urgent matter to attend to, but she said she could still be contacted later on.
Okay, will I send you my email address?
Yes, please. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, and I could ask her to get in touch with you.
Thank you
and
very
so
much.
so for if anybody else in the group would like to do the same thing, work with the youth, then just send me an email. So while I'm just, because of time, I'll be doing a wrap up now, but I'd like to ask the other groups to please share in the chat box so that we could also have some more ideas and learn from you. So just an additional instruction as a wrap up about what for the capstone project. So the first one is we would like to ask you to register your activity or event at the season of creation. Why are we doing this? The reason is that, well, one, if you want people to join, they would be able to join your event because it will be advertised on the site. So like if you register an event, it will appear in the map. And if people are looking for activities, for example, in your country, then they would be able to see your activity and join. And second is we would also like to see how many groups or how many people are participating in the season of creation. We would like to show the world. Why? Because we would also like to inspire others to join. So I really, really highly encourage everyone to please register your event at the seasonofcreation.org. There is an event section there, and you can register your event. This is especially helpful for online events, actually, so that people even from other parts of the world could join. And second, how do we know that you have completed your final project? we will know if you upload them on Thinkific. So I created at the bottom part, the last module. The title of the module is Capstone Project. We would like to ask you to post a picture of your event or activity or screenshot if done online, and a short write-up, like a description of your project, what was the outcome, similar to how our animators have reported earlier. What went well, and so that you would be able to, you will be doing it again, or that other people should also do it, and what can be improved for next time. So these are the 4 questions. I also posted these questions on Thinkific. And may I plug also the first season of Creation webinar. So this is similar to what happened during the Laudato Si week, where we organized weekly webinars. So for the season of Creation, we are hosting per region. So for Asia and Oceania, I was able to get these 4 speakers to speak about just transition from COVID. So I would, even if you are not from Asia or Oceania, I would still like to invite you, because there's a lot to learn from our speakers. So our speaker is Father Josh Strong, whom you have met from the Vatican Dicastery, and the second is Archbishop Peter Loichong of Oceania. He is from Fiji. He is also the president of the Oceania Bishops' Conferences. And we also have Bishop Alvin Da Silva of the Federation of Asian Bishops' Conference. He is from Mumbai. And we have Father Edu Garrigues from the Philippines to talk to us about the Philippine experience in the pandemic response and what we can learn from it as we move forward, or as we transition from COVID-19. So Father Edu was the former Secretary General of the social arm of the Bishops' Conference of the Philippines. So that will be 3 p.m. Manila, 5 p.m. Sydney, 7 p.m. New Zealand, and 9 a.m. in Rome. So if you could, I hope you would join us in this webinar. So this is the link to register. I will also post this on Thinkific. And by this, I would like to thank our guest speakers, Sister Zoe, Adina, Pauline, Jose. Thank you so much for sharing with us your learnings and experiences. And I hope that this activity was useful for everyone. And I am here if you have any questions, or if you still need, we could also do one-on-one call if you want, or as needed. So just email me at cheryl@catholiclimatemovement.global. So we'll now end our session with our closing prayer. This prayer was shared on Thinkific by one of you. It's called the Prayer for the Earth.
All-powerful God, filling all the universe and the smallest of your creatures, you embrace all life with tenderness. Oh yeah. Pour out the power of your love that we may protect life and beauty. Fill us with peace that we may live as sisters and brothers. We thank you, oh, we thank you, oh, we thank you for being with us every day. Hey, hey. We thank you, oh, we thank you, oh, we thank you for being with us in every way. God of the poor, help us to rescue the lost and forgotten of this earth. So precious in your eyes, oh yeah. Bring healing to our lives, and we'll protect the world from all this confusion. touch the hearts of those who look only for gain at the expense of the earth. We thank you, oh, we thank you, oh, we thank you for being with us every day. Hey, hey. We thank you, oh, we thank you, oh, we thank you for being with us in every way. Teach us, oh God, to discover the worth of each and everything, to be filled with awe and contemplation, oh yeah. To see we are united with every little thing as we journey to your light. Encourage us, we pray, to work for justice, peace, love, and understanding. We thank you, oh, we thank you, oh, we thank you for being with us every day. Hey, hey. We thank you, oh, we thank you, oh, we thank you for being with us in every way. We thank you, oh, we thank you, oh, we thank you for being with us every day. Hey, hey. We thank you, oh, we thank you, oh, we thank you for being with us in every way.
Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day. Have a great evening, and please do not hesitate to email me if you have any questions. See you again.
Okay, see you.
Yeah,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Esperanza.
Very good, very
Your email, Cheryl.
Nice meeting you all.
Cheryl, your email.
Sorry?
Your
My
email.
email. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
wait. I'm going to put on chat.
No. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, May.
Hello,
Hi.
Sharon. Just can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, I just want to we're behind on our projects, but we really are. What is the deadline that you want, Sharon? Because we're trying to negotiate the program you have. I'm trying to follow, but
October
we have.
4.
Sorry.
October 4.
October. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. That's, we have a bit of time. We're pushing a lot, and we've just a lot of other things going on. Great.
No.
Yeah,
October
I was
4th.
missed the first part of it because I had a medical appointment, but I was delighted to get in for the end. But we have quite a number of things going on, sure, because we've been doing this for 19 years. So is there a place where you want us to tell you what we're doing?
Yeah, we could set up a meeting. When are you available? Because
well, I can email you. I can email you the kind of things we're doing, and we're updating our website, so we should be able to. But I'd like to kind of because we've got quite a few things that we've had going over the number of years that might help others who are just starting. Great.
Oh yeah,
okay.
that would be great. Yeah.
Okay, we'll be in touch by email.
If you could share it on the platform. Yeah, sure. There's a
but,
platform.
Okay, you say, sorry, can I just check the platform? Which platform are we talking about? Because I get into the individual chats, for the countries. I thought our group and the main one. So where do you say when you say share it? I'm not quite sure.
No, there is a section there where you could share your resources and activities, events in your countries. It's also on the first part.
Is it on the first page of your program? Okay,
yeah, there's
Okay, I'll look at that again, Sharon. And if not, I will email them.
Yeah, if you don't find it, let me know.
Okay,
and,
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
Cheryl,
everything.
Cheryl, can I ask a question? Cheryl, can I
Yes,
ask a
sure,
question?
Oswald. Yes,
Yeah.
Oswald.
If we cannot log on to Thinkific, can we go to Google and get the details, please?
Yes, it's there. It's also
Okay.
like similar, except that you could not talk to your fellow participants there. Because
Okay,
you just
that's okay.
submit and then you have the link.
Cheryl,
Yeah. Yes.
Cheryl, you know, we got so engrossed during our chat, group chat, to the point that we forgot to get the details, the email ads, so that we could meet again. Is there a way for me to get the details of, say, Jalil? Jalil, you're there, you're here. And Christita. I have Julius. We're four in the group.
I could,
so that we can meet
yeah.
again.
I could send them your email address and then ask
Yeah,
to get in
I
touch
put
with
it.
you.
Yeah, I put it at the chat group actually. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So the name of your group mates are?
Julia Mendez, Jerlyn Re Lopez, and Christita.
Okay. Okay. Got it. I will send them your email address and ask them to get in touch.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
And there I got it. Thank you, Jelin.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Shirley.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Take care. Be
Bye-bye
safe.
now.
Take care.
Bye-bye
Yes.
for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.